As you know, there are two basic types of cell references that are commonly used. First, there is the relative cell references, and secondly, there is the absolute cell references. Mixed cell references are the third type of cell references used in Excel. A mixed cell reference, part of the address is absolute and the other part is relative. And we use a dollar sign to either log the column or the row, but not both. Mixed cell references are especially useful when writing formulas where data is arranged in a table form. Then the formula can be copied to fill the entire grid without manual edits. Although mixed cell references are useful, if you have Excel 365 which has dynamic arrays, it's much easier to use dynamic array formulas. Also, you will see that you need to do less thinking and it's faster to use dynamic arrays than mixed cell references. So let's see how it's done. Here I'm in Excel and this is our Excel training app in the ribbon. The app enables you to take our courses inside the Excel application itself. You can watch the lesson videos inside Excel and load practice files directly into Excel using the app. So let's get into the app. So I click here and I'm going to log in.
So this is the data file I need to use to show how to use dynamic array formulas.
So I'll click on load and the file is now loaded into Excel directly. First, we'll look at a very basic example where we can use mixed cell references. Here we want to make a multiplication table. So we have the numbers from 1 to 12 as columns and 1 to 12 as rows. So inside I want to create a multiplication table. So I can write the first formula 1 C3 into 1. So the first formula is C3 to D2. So if I want to copy this to the whole area, I need to use mixed cell references. So what I need to do is in the cell reference C3, since I will be always using the C column when I copy across and down, I will need to fix the C. So I will use a dollar sign. So I can use the F4 key here. I can keep pressing F4 until there's a dollar sign in front of the C only. And I will not fix the number 3 because I need the row number to change when I come down. Then on the cell reference D2, I need the column letter D to change when I copy across like this. But I need the number 2 row to be fixed because I will be always referring to the row 2 for the numbers over here. So I will again use F4. So I press 4 until I get dollar in front of 2 only. And this is the formula I need. So I can copy it down like this and I can copy it across like this. So if I come to the last cell and check, the formula is correct because it's taking 12 from the column and multiplying by 12 from the row. So since the last cell is correct, all the middle calculations are also correct. So this is how we can use a very basic mixed cell reference like this to populate a multiplication table. You can also do like this. I delete all of this. Shortcut method is you can select the whole range where you want to populate the formula, and then you can type the formula inside the active cell which is highlighted over here, and I can type the same formula. So I will use $C3 into $2. So this is the same formula using mixed cell references. Now I want to I can take a shortcut here. I can populate this formula into this whole range I highlighted by using this shortcut method. That is, I can press Control and Enter. So immediately the whole range is now populated with the same formula. And here the last cell is also correct. So our calculation is fine. So now we will see how we can do the same thing using dynamic array formulas. So it's very easy. All you need to do is come here into the first column, into the corner cell, type equals, and I select this whole range where I have the column numbers like this. Then I do a multiplication operator and I select the second range where I have the numbers as rows. So basically what I have done is I have just taken these two arrays, this array and this array, and multiplied them by each other. So all I need to do now is just press the enter key and the whole table is done. So this formula using dynamic array formulas is much more easier. You have very little to think. Just select the two arrays and then multiply them by each other. And the formula is only located in this corner cell. And all of these other cells, if you come and see, these are just formulas that have been spilled from this formula over here into this whole range. So let's look at another example. Here we have a hotel which has three types of rooms: single, double, and triple. And these are the room rates. And in addition, if you want to upgrade, there are three options. If you want a garden view, is $40 additional. If you want a sea view, that is $70 additional. And if it's seafront, you need another $90 additional. So I want to calculate this total upgrade plus room rate in this range over here. So I can write that first formula like this: equals D5, that is the single rate, plus, because I am upgrading, I need a plus, and then for the garden view is E4. So it's D5 plus E4 in the first cell. So when I copy it down and across, I need to use mixed cell references. So in this first reference, D5, I need to fix the D because I will be always referring to column D for the room rates. So I will use F4 here until I get a dollar in front of the D only, and I will keep the 5 without the dollar sign because I need the row number to change when I copy down. And then the second cell reference is E4. So E4 is the upgrade rate, and here I have E and 4. So here I want the E to change when I copy across because I need to go to the other upgrade options. But I need to fix the 4 because I will be always using the upgrade rate from row number 4. So I need to put a dollar in front of the 4. So I can use again F4, and I have now a dollar only in front of the 4. I can now press enter. So now I can copy it down and across. And I could have used the previous shortcut method I showed in the first example, where you first select the whole range and then type the formula in the active cell and press Control Enter, and it will copy to the whole range. So if I come and check the last cell over here, it's taking the calculation properly, it's taking the triple rate and adding the seafront rate to that. So now let's see how we can use dynamic arrays to do the same thing. So all you need to do is come here. So here what we need to do is actually add the upgrade rates to the room rates. So I can select the first array, which is the room rate array, this range, and I will put a plus, and I will select the upgrade rate array or the range where the upgrade rates are available. So these are the two arrays, D13 to D15 plus E12 to G12. So all I need to do is add these two arrays. In the previous example, we multiplied the two arrays because we want the multiplication. So here we have to add the two arrays. So all I do is I select the two array ranges and use the mathematical operator plus, and I can press enter. And see, the whole calculation is immediately done and everything is correct. We got the same answers as the mixed cell references, but this was pretty simple and much more faster. Let's look at a third example. So here we have the product quantities that were sold in each quarter, quarter 1 to quarter 4 for 4 products. And this is the total production volumes for each of these quarters in the total column. So now what I need to do is I need to calculate the percentage for each of these products for each quarter as a percentage out of the total sales. So for example, for quarter 1, I will need quarter 1 value to be divided by the total value. So I get 0.17 or 17% over here. So I need to do the calculation for this whole range over here. So what I will do is I will select the whole range like this, and in the active cell I will type the formula that I need using mixed cell references. So here what I need to do is take the quarter 1 sales for product 1 and divide that by the total sales for product 1, which is I4. So when I copy it down and across, what I need to do is I will need to fix in the first cell reference E4. I will not be fixing anything because I need the E letter to change when I go to other columns like this, and the number for row number to change when I copy it down. So I will not be fixing E4. It will be completely a relative cell references. But for the I4, I will be using mixed cell references. So I will fix the column letter I by using a dollar sign because I will be always referring to the column I for the total sales. But I will leave the 4 or the row number relative because I need it to change when I copy down and across. So what I will do is I will come here, again use the F4 key until I get a dollar in front of the letter I only. So this is my formula done. This is the formula I need to populate to this whole range. So I can use the shortcut method, Control Enter. And I got the calculations done. So if I check the last cell, it's taking quarter 4 product 4 sales, dividing that by the total sales for product 4. So that is correct. So all of these middle calculations are also correct. So here I can use dynamic array formulas to do the same thing. And all I need to do is type equals. And I select this range over here, which has all of the quarterly sales quantities. So this is my first array, E12 to H15. And I need to divide that by the total sales quantity range or array. That is I2 to I12 to I15. And I press enter key. And I get the same values and it's correct. So this was much more faster. I didn't have to think much as well. And I just took the two ranges. And here I had divided this range 1 by range 2 using the division mathematical operator. Now we look at the final example. Here we have some forecasted revenues for February to May, and the February sales has been forecasted as a 5% increase from the January sales, and so onwards. The monthly sales is increasing by month on month 5%. That is our revenue growth assumption. And here we have just calculated the total expenses and then calculate the profit as revenue minus total expenses. And here we have some assumptions. One assumption is, of course, January sales is 50,000 and the revenue growth month on month is 5%. And we have a simplifying assumptions for a set of expenses 1 to 6 as a percentage of revenue. So expense 1 is 17% of total revenue, and expense 6 is 5% of total revenue. So these are kind of simplifying assumptions for forecasting the expenses. So in this range over here, I need to forecast or calculate the different expenses for these different months. So here also I will use the shortcut method. I will select the whole range like this, and in the active cell, I will start typing the formula that I need. So for expense 1, the value will be the sales value for that month, C3, into expense 1. Expense 1 as a percentage of revenue is 17%. So it's C3, the sales, into the expense percentage, C16. So now if I'm copying it down and across, I need to use mixed cell references. So if I take the first cell reference C3, I will need to keep the column C as relative and the row number 3 as fixed, because row number 3 is where all the revenues are located. So I can use F4 key again until I get a dollar in front of the 3 only. And then C16 is the percentage expense. And here out of the C and the 16, I will need to fix the letter C, because always C column is where the revenue expense percentage assumptions are located. So I can use, and the 16, I will have to keep it relative or unfixed because it will need to change when I copy it down. So I can use F4 key again. Now I got a dollar in front of the letter C only. So this is my mixed cell reference formula that I want to copy to this whole range. I will use the shortcut again, Control Enter key, and the total calculations are done. I will just check the last calculation. So it's taking correctly. It's taking the May sales and multiplying by expense percentage of revenue, 5%. So all of these middle formulas are also correct. So this is my total forecast done in one mixed cell reference formula. Now we'll see how we can use dynamic arrays to do the same calculation. So I will come to the first cell over here, and I will select the revenue data range like this. So this will be my first range or array, and I will need to multiply that by the expense array over here from 1 to 6. So I will select this range or array like this. So this is the only formula I need to write. And I can just press Enter key. And I get the same answers as before. So here I have just multiplied the two arrays by each other. And what it does is it takes the corresponding values for each of these sales and then the expense and multiplies them by each other and populates the whole range. So much easier and much faster than using mixed cell references, we had to think a bit which column and which row should we be fixing. As you can see now, it's much more easy and faster to use dynamic arrays than mixed cell references. So there's no need to think which cell reference part to fix using $signs and which part not to be fixed. All you need to do is select the cell ranges as arrays and use mathematical operators like multiplication, addition, division, or subtraction. In our first example over here, we have used the multiplication as the mathematical operator between these two arrays. And in our second example, we have used addition as the mathematical operator between these two arrays. And in our third example, we have used division as the mathematical operator between these two ranges. So we can even use in certain situations the subtraction mathematical operator as well. So I hope this was useful for you, and thanks for watching.
If you like our content and found it useful, I'd recommend you check out our top-selling Excel certificate courses. Our courses are designed to take you from a beginner to an advanced Excel user with comprehensive coverage of all the essential and advanced Excel features, tools, and functions. We focus more on modern Excel for data analysis and business modeling with Power Query, Power Pivot, and modern dynamic array functions and formulas to give you the best competitive advantage in today's demanding and fast-paced corporate world. We will also ensure that you are ready for the age of AI with our comprehensive coverage of Copilot for Excel in our courses. So, if you're interested in checking these courses out, head over to the links in the description below. You will get free access to our innovative Excel training app with all our courses. The app can be easily installed onto your Excel application from the Add-ins icon on your home ribbon. Once you add our app to your Excel application, it will appear on your ribbon. You can log into the app using the same credentials you used on our site for your course purchase. Once logged in, you can access all your courses from inside the Excel application. With our app, there is no need to watch tutorials outside the Excel application and come into Excel to practice. All lecture videos, practice files, and other resources are accessible from inside your Excel application thanks to our awesome Excel training app. You can load practice files directly to the Excel application without the hassle of downloading separately and opening in Excel to practice as you would need to do with other Excel training courses. Once you have loaded the practice file, you can watch the video tutorial and resize the video screen as required to watch and practice at the same time. Once you have finished practicing on an Excel file, you can clear it and load the next file to practice. The app will provide you with a unique and immersive learning experience with minimum distractions and hassle. We can guarantee it will be the best Excel learning experience you can have. So go ahead and buy a course and have a great learning experience with our Excel learning app. Now, if you like this video, why not subscribe to support us and get notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.